Right.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. She's referring to Zeitgeist.
Okay.
Zeitgeist. Zeitgeist is a documentary that explains all of that.
All right. Rich, talk to us, Rich. Hey, what's up, Rich? You're on with Mike at Hometown.
Hey, how you doing, Rich? I wasn't defending hip hop. Right.
That's not the kind that you hear in the middle of the night. So it's kind of like you going to a party and you want to punch, and you see this beautiful ball of pink punch, but in the middle of the punch bowl is a turd. You gonna drink out of that punch bowl?
Dang, dude. Wow. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
Okay, let him respond. Okay.
Okay. We got
All
it.
right,
We
all
got
right,
it. Let me
yeah.
respond. I'm not sure what point he came into the conversation, but I specifically stated that commercialized hip hop is promoting a lot of negative information to our youth. There is good hip hop. He may not know any of the good hip hop artists, but there is good hip hop. But this is not, for the majority of it, this is not what you hear in heavy rotation when you turn on the radio. And I specifically talked about DMC from Run DMC, who talks about the popular formula for the mass marketing of hip hop is glorification of violence, guns, misogyny of women, drug culture, prison culture, and excessive materialism. So we dealt with that. I'm not sure at what point he came into the conversation.
Okay, we're going to chime in real quick with Shay. Shay, welcome to Your Voice. Hey, contact. Did you see the note to call Maureen Taylor if you can now, so you can kind of walk through what the plan will be? She has a telephone number, a landline. She wants to call you at noon, but you need to call her now to work it out, to make sure everything is cool. So call her on the cell number that's on the rundown, and then walk through the other number I just sent you.
Right. Okay. Let me respond to that
Thank
quickly. Yes, you have to empower yourself, but anybody who votes for any candidate has a right to put the question to them, what are you going to do for us? Any ethnic group that votes for a candidate, they're going to ask, what are you going to do for us? Hispanics ask that. Jews, even though it's not an ethnic group, it's become one, they ask for that. The Arabs. So if African Americans are going to vote for any candidate, whether it's Billy Napoleon or Mike Duggan, they have a right to ask specifically, what are you going to do for African Americans, period, and African American entrepreneurs? I don't care about minorities, because minorities is a trick bag. It's a trick bag to try to put African Americans into this group and then try to make it seem like their history is equal to other people.
No.
We're speaking. Go ahead.
But doesn't that also open the door for you to say, what are you going to do for white businesses, and what are you going to do for Asian? I mean, shouldn't you be able to answer that question?
Here's the thing. White people are asked that question. We don't have to ask it for them.
Right.
See, every ethnic group fights for themselves except us. When we fight, we want to fight for everybody. And this is why we get pushed to the side, pushed into a minority bag, which then smothers our issues and puts everybody else before us. That's a trick. No, you have a right to ask them. I would ask them to their face, what specifically are you going to do for African-American business owners? I don't care about anybody else.
But just understand, other communities will ask that same
Absolutely,
question.
They have the right to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
But see, we get brain damage when it comes to that. We don't understand how to play the game. Everybody else fights for themselves. We want to fight for everybody and get pushed to the side. This is why we're in the condition we're in today. We don't understand how to play the game.
Right.
We're playing a real life Monopoly game where you have real winners and real losers, and we haven't even read the first chapter of the rule book.
Okay, let's talk about the prison industrial complex, because we have about 15 minutes before we roll out.
Okay, well, you know, there's an interesting article from Huffington Post. It's entitled Unicor Under Fire for Dominating Small Competitors with Cheap Prison Labor. Okay. And this deals with the whole prison industrial complex. We talked about this before. You know, I've done a presentation called Slavery's Back in Effect, the hidden relationship between the prison industrial complex, the new voter ID laws, and black population control. And I deal with some of this in here. But this came out August 15th, 2012. They talk about Unicor. Unicor was founded, was originally Federal Prison Industries. It was founded in 1934. It came out of the New Deal with President Roosevelt, and it was one of the social programs. So what happened was you had prisoners who were just sitting idle, not really doing anything productive. So they said, well, let's put together this program where we can teach them trades, and they can produce products, things like this, and this will teach them a trade. So when they get out, they'll have some skills, and we'll cut down on recidivism. Okay. So it started out as something that was pretty noble. Things of this nature, and they started out with a $4 million investment from Congress, and then it was self-sustaining. Okay, but what happens is in 1999 they start marketing to private businesses, and we also know in 1996, around 1996, you have the Omnibus Crime Bill, signed by Bill Clinton, which instituted 3 strikes and you're out. Truth and sentencing laws, things like this. This was pushed by entities like ALEC, American Legislative Exchange Council, Corrections Corporation of America, CCA, which is the largest owner-operator of privatized prisons in the country. They operate about 67 prisons in the country, as well as what was then called Wackenhut, which is now called GEO, which is another large privatized prison operator. So what's happening now is that they are competing for government contracts against contractors and small businesses, and there's some small businesses in many instances that they've put out of business. They're paying you have somewhere between 13,000 to 20,000 inmates who are in this program. Today it's called Unicor, stands for United States Corporation. Okay. It was Federal Prison Industries. They changed their name in about 1977, and you have this instance here that took place in Kentucky. There was a company called Ashland Sales and Service. They were manufacturing windbreakers, and they had a contract with the U.S. Air Force. Okay, they had 100 people in the plant, and there was a threat of Unicor winning the contract. Unicor was going to pay their employees something like the inmates something like 23 cents an hour. Okay, and you had some lawmakers who stepped in and blocked this from happening. But when we look at the industries that Unicor is involved in, they're involved in about 94 industries. Their prisoners produce products for about 94 industries. Wow. And these products are sold to corporations who can then sell them around the world. So some of the industries are office furniture, furniture for college dormitories, clothing and textiles, like military uniforms, electronics equipment, and plastic and metal goods, including eyewear and traffic signs. Okay, Unicor also offers services such as data entry, printing services, and bulk mailing. Now, in the prison, the printing industry has been hit hard also. A lot of small printing businesses have been put out of business by entities like this as well. So we really have to understand what's going on. This is not by accident. This is by design, and this is why you have the school to prison pipeline. With the school to prison pipeline, you have, unfortunately, a lot of our schools that resemble prisons. You have armed guards in there. You have metal detectors. That's so true. And then also when you look at, there was a article that just came out from Your Black World, and it's entitled Dr. Brian Price explains why schools are trying to get your child ready for prison. Dr. Brian Price explains why schools are trying to get your child ready for prison. Okay, so going back to Dr. Carl Anderson in the beginning, it's extremely important to support African American owned businesses, to study business. People need to read blackenterprise.com. I've been teaching entrepreneurship for 7 years, studying economic empowerment, entrepreneurship, and African history for 20 years. And blackenterprise.com is one of the best resources that any business owner, prospective business owner, should be reading. And it has so much information in there.
Well, we got to take a break. When we come back,
Okay.
313-298-1200 is the number. We have a number of callers. 313-298-1200 is the number. Mike Imhotep is his name. It is theafricanhistorynetwork.com. We'll be back right after this.
Journalist Angelo Henderson on News Talk AM 1200 and 99.9 FM.
And my guest is Michael Imhotep, president and founder of theafricanhistorynetwork.com. Please be patient. Our lines are jam-packed. We're going to get to every caller. We're going to kick off real quick with Lorenzo. Welcome to your voice. How you doing, Lorenzo? Lorenzo going once? How about Gary? What's up, Gary?
Hey, how you doing, Angelo? It is such a blessing, man, to have a guy like Michael on there because he's telling us exactly where we're going wrong with this. We haven't understood how to play the games of politics. It's not about everybody. It's about who's going to represent the majority people in the state of Detroit that happens to be black.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a matter of, it's not just the corrupted leaders' fault.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the people with office fault. We have understood how to ask the right question. What are you going to, like you said, what are you going to do for me and my community? How are you going to help me build industries like other communities? You don't see, you do not see, you go down to Arab Town, you do not see the Arabics pulling in an Asian person saying, hey, look, I'm tired of the corruption in this Arab Town. I want change. You don't go to Oakland County and you don't see them pulling in some East Indians saying, hey, look, I want change. I'm tired of this. Because we haven't understood how to play the game. And I thank
Right.
you, Angelo, and I thank you, Mike.
Hey,
All right,
thanks,
just
brother.
all right, going back to the phone lines. How about Maria? Talk to us, Maria.
Hello?
Hey, what's
Hey,
up,
Maria.
Maria?
Yeah, I had to come out of the store to come and I wasn't expecting you yesterday. But I noticed you said something about free Christmas. And I'm a retired teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I agree wholeheartedly that many of our teams are being turned into places to prepare students for layoff.
Right.
You're not giving them, and it's not the teacher's fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's the administration's fault. Also, recently, I've seen on television advertisements for children to K-12, I believe, take their education online. I would like to caution all of them
Yes.
that they don't need to put their kids online for school. Get them into either a public school or a charter school.
Right, right.
That's going to be a big mess.
That's going to be a big mess. I'm with you. Thank you very much. You know, they've been touting, you know, online now,
Right.
so you don't even have to go to school anymore.
Well, you know,
which-
the only thing that's really going to save us, public school system is gone. We need to wrap our heads around that, and we need to understand the charter school system is a right-wing attempt to knock out the public schools, take control of the contracts, privatize it. So the only thing that's going to save African Americans is homeschooling and independent schools. In the articles that I utilize in my various presentations, things like this is documented information that you can utilize in homeschool lesson plans, homeschool lesson plans, independent schools, things of this nature.
All right, going back to the phone lines. Ron, what's the word? Ron, Lisa, then Madison. Ron. Ron going once. Lisa, what's the word, Lisa?
Yeah, hi, Angelo.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
I wanted to just say, this is for Miss Marcia and some of those people who always bring up race. I wanted to say, if you know, you can say what you want about the black leadership and they failed us or whatever, but I would like to say, it's good and bad in every way. And if that's the case, you can bring up the fact that Bush took us into two illegal wars, that he wasn't elected, he was selected by not the popular vote, but by the electoral
College, right. That's every president, though. But go ahead.
People don't even know what that is.
Right.
And so you can always say, call his race out. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, he almost broke the United States, and then they had to bring in a black man to correct it. Okay? So you just say that. So it's bad and good and that's the thing. And now then they talk about Kwame and how he was stealing this and he was stealing that. Well, hell, now that people got what they wanted because Snyder's coming and he's taking their 50. So he's taking more than Kwame ever could take from the people of Detroit.
Absolutely.
Really posts like that, gave me the opportunity to see those.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know about Hidden Colors 1 and 2. It gives you a lot of pride and who you are,
Absolutely.
what you came from, and it answers a lot of questions.
Right, right.
So I was wondering, could you and Angelo get together and put on something that would educate the people, maybe
We may have to do another screening of it.
they know the videos available to people
Right.
at a lower rate.
Right, right.
Okay.
We'll address that.
All right. Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. We understand this. Thank you. All right.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, we can take another call. Now I want to let people know where I'll be this
Yes,
weekend.
yeah, please, let's do that.
Okay, this weekend, Dr. David Imhotep, author of The First Americans Were Africans, Documented Evidence, is coming back to Detroit. We've had him on Your Voice with Angelo Henderson before. We'll be at, he and I, we're doing a double lecture at Nandy's Knowledge Cafe, located at 12511 Woodward Avenue in Highland Park, Michigan, 4 blocks south of the Davidson Freeway between Glendale and Highland Street. It's from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Get there whatever time you can, stay as long as you can. He's doing part 2 of The First Americans Were Africans, Documented Evidence, dealing with the African presence in this country going back 51,700 years. I'm dealing with great African women in history, the mothers of civilization, part 3. For more information, visit our website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com, theafricanhistorynetwork.com, or give us a call at 313-462-0003. 313-462-0003. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be fantastic. I'll have a lot of articles for you, documentation, things like this. So it will totally blow you away.
All right, Madison, welcome to Your Voice. How you doing, Madison?
You can call me Michael. That's fine. Yes.
Where do you get your information? What is the difference between black and white, rather than culture, ethnicity, ethnic, different races? We use the race card to distract for some reason or another. But what is it? I mean, for me, we need human.
Okay. All right. Well, hold on. He's got 2 minutes. Gotcha, bro.
Okay, let me ask
Gotcha.
that.
Okay.
We got it. First of all, I asked where do I get my information. It comes from a number of sources. When I talked here, I gave you the sources where it came from. Huffington Post, YourBlackWorld.com, News1.com, things like this, TheRoot.com, TheGrill.com. I have numerous books, things of this nature. He talked about black and white. Well, first of all, he talked about the race card, okay? So I have to ask people, what is the race card? Because, see, every ethnic group or race, they understand to fight for their own best interests. But when African Americans do this, somehow now we're playing the race card. You have the right to fight for your own people. You have the right to ask prospective elected officials, what are you going to do for us? You talked about Mike Duggan. I heard Mike Duggan on the show yesterday. Okay, this is not an endorsement of any candidate, one or the other. But the question was asked about what is he going to do for African Americans. He said what he did for minorities. That wasn't the question. You asked them specifically. I would ask any candidate specifically, what are you going to do for African Americans? Don't tell me about minorities, because what you're doing is smothering our issues
Right.
and putting everybody else into the same bag. That's not the case.
But understand, but when you ask the question, you also have the ability and the expectation to say, what are you going to do for white businesses? What are you going to do for Asians? What are you going to do for Native
Well, no,
Americans?
here's the thing. That's their responsibility.
Right,
That's each ethnic group has
I
the
got you.
responsibility
I got you.
to fight for themselves.
Right, but you have you have the ability
absolutely.
to address each one individually.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
absolutely. So when
So don't be offended when they tell you what you're going to do for other people too.
Oh no, they can
It's
do
not
that.
just for you.
But they can do that, but they don't say
I
specifically
got you.
what they're going to do for
I'm
us.
with you. Appreciate you. All right, brother Mike and Hotep. All right. Thank you for all that you do, man. All right.
All right, thank you too, brother.